Honestly, I didn't expect to pick up this much in September, so I grabbed a bunch of stuff. I got some review copies here, and I've already made that video, and I'll link that at the end if you missed that, and covering everything my thoughts on that stuff. But then there was this, and so it's an old Twilight Time. Now, technically, I had it before, but in the middle of packing up stuff for the move, and so this was found in a closet. And so it's something that wasn't on the shelf. It was packed away with a bunch of other stuff. And so I'm not sure how it got there, but technically I found it. So we're going to talk about it. But all this stuff, as we dive in, the very first things here, these review copies, like I said, I'll link that video at the end, but I got Bewitched, the entire season 5 and 6. This is just an amazing release from Imprint. And I'm pretty sure... let's see, Sony, I'm pretty sure, yeah, Sony did the restoration on these. I'm pretty sure about that. And then we picked up Blue and Fade In, and this is just a, an interesting, part of cinema history. And so, like I said, I cover all that in that video. And then I also picked up this Paul Newman movie with HUD. Excellent film. Really enjoyed that one as well. And then this Twilight Time, the Russia House. You got Sean Connery and Michelle Pfeiffer. And so this is just something that, I haven't revisited it in a while. But you have it's the spy espionage type movie. Really enjoyed it when I originally saw it. Like I said, I've had it in the collection. It's just wasn't on that shelf. And so... I'll be diving back into this one soon enough. But then I picked up some things that are just oddball pieces, things that have been recommended to me, stuff I hadn't seen forever, and going to the thrift store, this is something that I was glad I found it because I was going to pull the trigger on like a $14 VHS off of eBay, but getting this for like $1, and it's Short Time. So this movie here, I thought it was fantastic, super fun, and the whole premise is, if he gets killed on the job, then he can leave money to his significant other. So, it's just I enjoyed it. It's kind of a screwball comedy, but something that looking forward to revisiting it. And as far as I understand, there's only this VHS. I don't think there's a DVD, and I think there's also a Laserdisc. So, glad to find this one. But now here's something that it's come up, not that often, but it's come up a little bit. And it's a movie that I saw back when it came out in the 90s. And I've never had it. I've never had it in the collection. I haven't seen this movie since the 90s, but it's Beavis and Butthead Do America. So grabbing it on VHS, for me, that's a huge win because it was $1. It was $1 to revisit something from the 90s, my teenage years. And I was never a huge Beavis and Butthead guy, but I did enjoy the movie. I remember enjoying that enough. Now here's something, it's interesting because I found it on eBay and I've been looking for this movie for a long time. I finally found it. I still haven't had a chance to watch it, but it came from Denver, and that's actually where we're moving to. So it was just funny that it came from a used bookstore in Denver, and it was the movie that I was looking for anyway. But this one here, No Such Thing, starring Sarah Polley, Robert John Burke, Helen Mirren, and that's what really sold me. But the cover is just wild. There's like some kind of beast creature on here, and I just had to check this out. It only has this DVD as far as I understand. I don't think there might be a VHS, but there's no Blu-ray, there's no other format. And this was a harder movie to find. It's been out of print for a long time, and like I said, I found this one copy here, and it did come to me. It came, just as is, and it had some, it's not a perfect disc at all, but it played perfectly fine when I checked it out, but I just hadn't had a chance to sit down and watch the movie and find out what it's really all about. I just was worried about the minor scratches and see if it would actually play. So this one I'll be diving into soon enough and probably talk about this on a live stream, but interesting enough, glad to have it. Now here's one, I had the DVD, and this was a huge upgrade. And as I watched the Blu-ray, 4K would be definitely welcome, but I'm glad to have this on Blu-ray finally, and it's Jet Li, Bridget Fonda, and Kiss of the Dragon. Now if you haven't seen this one, Jet Li plays a cop, and he goes to France, and he's, this high-profile person. They're supposed to be spying on him, checking him out. They're probably trying to set him up to be arrested. But then that guy gets killed, and then they're blaming Jet Li, but Jet Li was the only one that was trying to stop the entire thing. And I really enjoyed this one. And then Bridget Fonda's character, she's like a drug addict, and she's a hooker, and she's got a kid, and the bad guys that set up Jet Li are also like holding her kid and forcing her to do things. And so then, you know, their lives are really intertwined. Man, did I love this one. One of my favorite Jet Li films. Now here's one. There's a time period, and I've talked about it many times before. While I was in the Navy, I was on deployment during 2012, and so there's a lot of movies that came out around that time, maybe a little bit before, the whole year of 2012, and a little bit after. We were super crazy busy, and I missed a lot of things. And so I don't know if this one came out then, but this one, I remember people watching it on the ship and while we were underway on deployment. And so I saw bits and pieces, but I never got to see it. And so picking this up for cheap, I got this at the used bookstore, and it's Bangkok Dangerous with Nicolas Cage. I love Nicolas Cage. Good movies, bad movies, I'll watch them all. Whether I keep them in the collection is a different story, but generally, if Nicolas Cage is in it, I'll watch it. And so this is something, I don't really know anything about it, but like I said, I remember seeing bits and pieces. It's just an action, not comedy, it's an action movie, and looking forward to diving into this one as well. Now here's another one. I haven't had a chance to see it, but it's another one that I was aware of. I remember the trailers, I remember everything. This is something I had wanted to watch, but it really never came across, you know, it was never brought to my attention. I never saw this at the stores when I used to go every Tuesday and check out the new releases and see what they had available. And so it's The Men Who Stare at Goats. Again, I'm not really sure exactly when this one came out, but I knew that I had wanted to watch it. And so picking this up for cheap and being able to dive in, again, really looking forward to this one. Now here's one. It's a family film, and this was part of like a weird thing. So I ordered something from Amazon, and it's in this pile. But then I ordered that from Amazon, and it came to me damaged and crushed. And I went to replace it, and they said that I couldn't replace it with the exact item that I had wanted, you know, that I was returning. And so the damaged item, I couldn't get the same thing for an exchange. I had to pick something from my cart. And then if it was more, pay the difference. If it was less, I would get the difference back. But I was able to still buy the film, you know, from the same from the same section where it was being sold from. So like, it was weird. So I had to buy the movie twice, but then for the exchange, I ended up getting this because it was an Olive Films movie. I had it on VHS, and you know, it just worked out. But I had never seen it. And so finally getting around to watching this one, and it's Bill Murray in Larger Than Life. So again, if you been following along at any point, I am trying to collect all of the Olive Films releases. And so this was just a no-brainer. But it's a movie that I had in the collection that I hadn't had a chance to watch yet. And it was on VHS. And so it was just one of those things, like, we don't really watch the VHS all that often. Usually once a week we pop some stuff in. And the daughter has been really kind of against this one. But I popped it in the other day, and I enjoyed it. It's a fun family film, and she sat down and watched the entire thing as well. But long story short, his father leaves him this elephant, and he's trying to sell it. He needs the money quick. He's trying to sell it, and there's a circus that's trying to give him a ton of money, but then there's like this zoo that's trying to basically actually care for the elephant and save the elephant. It's going to still give him a ton of money, but not as much as he needed or wanted. And he has that dilemma of like, doing the wrong thing, making more money, doing the right thing, making less money, but making other people happy and doing what's right for the elephant. But again, I enjoyed the film. Now here's one that it surprised me. I enjoyed it, but then at the same time, like in these types of films, I don't know if it's going to be a revisit all the time, if it's something that I need to watch every single year, but I did enjoy it, and it had some, I don't know, maybe it's just because it was filmed in Australia, it's an Australian film, but it had these like Mad Max vibes, but not quite. And then also at the same time, it was set in the modern era of the 80s, and we're talking about Dead End Drive-In. And so this one here takes place during a time that's just turmoil in the country. The government takes over, they enact all these rules and laws, and This guy steals his brother's car, goes to the drive-in, but then somebody steals his wheels, and it's illegal to walk on the road. So now they're basically stuck there, and they get vouchers to live and eat and just be there. But it's basically almost like the police and the government are kind of forcing this, and it was just an interesting film. But yeah, like I said, it had some Mad Max vibes, but not quite. And I don't know if it's just that connection of Australia, but either way, I enjoy the film enough. It's a high recommend, but again, it's like something that I might have been good with a one and done. So I'm going to keep it in the collection. I didn't hate the film at all. I just don't know how soon I need to revisit this. Now here's one. It is, these two, maybe these three, but these two definitely came out around the time that I was on that deployment, and I remember that specifically. And this one here is Robert Downey Jr., Zach Galifianakis, and Due Date. I really enjoyed this film. Now, it's almost like a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles type of movie. Like, it's got that kind of thing going for it. So these two, they're the worst, they're an odd couple, and they're traveling, but they weren't friends to begin with. They kind of reluctantly get stuck together, but Zach Galifianakis is almost like the John Candy character in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and Robert Downey Jr.'s character is just trying to get to his wife and his kid's birth, and so they're traveling across country, and I enjoyed it. I highly enjoyed this one. I don't have too many Zach Galifianakis films other than... Anyway, I thought it was just a great, enjoyable film. Now here's one, again, like if I didn't pick it up really cheap, and this is another one I found at the used bookstore, but if I didn't pick it up really cheap, I don't know if I would have picked it up at all, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. And again, I remember this one. I remember the trailers, or at least somebody was watching this around, that time I was on deployment. And it's one that I kind of stayed away from because I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan. I like him. I think he's fine. But as a leading character, like, I've never really, I don't know, for whatever. I just think Will Ferrell is funnier with other people that make him funny as like a side character. And so him being one of the main characters of this film, I just kind of put it off. But it's called The House, and basically their kid gets into college. They got no money for college, so then they, them and one of their friends, they put this casino together inside their house illegally. They're making tons of money, and it's funny. I enjoyed it. It's over the top. You have quite a few people in here, but overall, I thought this was just a great film. Now here's another one. I'm pretty sure this one came out around that 2012 time, and it's called Savages. This is a directed by Oliver Stone film, and it's also getting a 4K soon. So I finally grabbed this on Blu-ray, and it's something that it was on my radar for a very long time. And it's got a great cast in here. You have Taylor Kitsch, Blake Lively, Aaron Johnson, John Travolta, Benicio del Toro, Salma Hayek, and you have these guys and then this girl. They're all growing weed, selling weed, but it's like the best stuff. They get the best stuff, and they're like the best at it. And then these Mexican drug cartel wants to not only just hone in on their business and take their business, but they want to kind of make them partners and basically figure out why their weed is the best. And, there's some kidnapping going on, both parties. And then the one character here, he was in the military, and so he's got all this like military training and friends and snipers, and it was a good movie. I really enjoyed this one. But then you have the double cross. The Mexicans are basically going to kill these people once they figure it all out, but then they realize that and they try to get them back. John Travolta is I think he's an FBI agent. He's a government agent. I'm pretty sure it's FBI though, and or DEA. Maybe he's a DEA agent, and he knows about these guys, and they know about him. They pay him, so he's on the take. He's a bad guy, but then he also knows the Mexican cartel, and so I love this film. I thought it was great. Now here's another one. I picked it up. I remember I had wanted it, and it's funny. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but it's something that it's been on my radar for a long time. I remember watching it when it came out back in the 90s, and so this is something I have been looking for forever. I didn't want to pay the crazy full price for it, but I also, like I said, I don't remember if this ever had a Blu-ray here in America, because for some reason I was trying to get the Japanese Blu-ray of this, and it's about $30, and I was like, I don't know if I love the movie enough to spend the $30 plus the shipping plus the tax to get that here. And so I finally found this. It was $2, $1.98, Teaching Mrs. Tingle. And from what I remember, Mrs. Tingle is a bad teacher, really crappy, and they teach her a lesson by basically kidnapping her or something, or tying her up, and then going to school without her. So it's just, I don't remember much else about the film, but looking forward to diving into this one. Now here's one that I did enjoy, and this is something that, another one, it came out around that time, 2012, and so I picked this up. 3 Days to Kill, starring Kevin Costner, Amber Heard, and Haley Steinfeld. And so this is something that Kevin Costner's character, kind of a bad dad, a bad husband, but he's a CIA agent. He's really good at that, and the reason he was bad at all the other stuff is he was always away. And so now he finds out he's dying, he doesn't have long to live, and then he's also approached by Amber Heard, who's kind of working for the government as well, and says that she'll give him basically, the cure, basically the cure for whatever he's dying from, and then he just has to basically work for them, and he's got 3 days to kill. And yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. Probably not one of the best Kevin Costner films ever, because every time I do think of him, I think of Westerns, but yeah, I enjoyed this one. Here's another one starring Kevin Costner, and I've talked about this. I picked it up as $1.98, and I had the VHS. I had it for years. I'm glad to have this. I don't know if this has a Blu-ray, but I picked it up. And so this one here is 3,000 Miles to Graceland, Crime is King. And so this is a movie where you have this, it's a heist movie. So they're going to go rob a casino. They all dress like Elvis, but more than likely Kevin Costner's character is possibly an illegitimate son of the king, so he doesn't just dress like Elvis. He kind of like puts on the sideburns are real. He's got the attitude. He doesn't take any shenanigans from anybody else. And somebody badmouths the king, and he gets really pissed. So it's a good film. I really enjoy this one. But you have a great cast in here. Kurt Russell, I think Boheem Woodbine's in this one. Let's see, you have Christian Slater, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Howie Long. Let's see. Yeah, this is great film. Really enjoy this one. And the revisit on it was wonderful. Love having this on DVD finally. Hopefully there's a 4K coming at some point, but I do love the film. Now, here's one that I picked up, and this is another one. It was $1.98 at the thrift store, and it's one that I completely missed. It's not a phenomenal film by any means, but it was an enjoyable watch, a wonderful Saturday afternoon film, and you have this kid who's dying. He has this Make-A-Wish Foundation option, and they think he's going to go fishing with some football star because his dad passed away, and fishing is kind of his favorite thing to do, and he just has that whole thing, and he wants to do the fishing thing. But at the last minute, he decides he wants to spend the day or sleep with this supermodel, and he tells everybody that at the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and everybody thinks it's a joke, but he's serious. And as he's dying to spend his last day with her, that's the whole point of the movie. Again, it was kind of sad. Not really a tearjerker, but obviously, he's dying, so he dies at the end of the movie. And if you didn't understand that, I'm sorry I spoiled this for you. But it's one last thing, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Glad to find this for $2. Now this one here, picked this up, and I've talked about it on a live stream. This was $4. It's 2 4K movies, and it's the Kingsman 2 movie collection. Now there's the prequel. I think there's a third one coming out. But anyway, they're working on more of these films, and so I got both of them. the Golden Circle and Secret Service, and I didn't have the Golden Circle, so I had this one on Blu-ray. So huge upgrade for $4, getting both of these films, getting one I didn't have in the collection. Comes in this nice little box set here. But I said there's more of these movies coming out, and there's the prequel. I think it's a prequel. Either way, it's another one that I still have to get, but glad to have this for $4. I don't think you can go wrong there. Now here's one that I picked up, and it's a Blu-ray. Now this one here was sold new. It was sold new on Amazon, but it was from a third-party seller. So I didn't expect a whole ton of, and I wasn't expecting a lot, because a lot of times I do get, used or mangled stuff on Amazon. But this slipcover here, it's got some nasty stuff there, and it's all tore up. The sticker's tore off, but it did come sealed, and it was factory sealed. It had the original sticker, and like you can tell, like when there's like a reseller that reseals stuff, it's not exactly the same. But this was sealed. It was new. But then as I was trying to open it, then the disc came dislodged. Luckily, no scratches. But overall, this is a movie that I completely missed, and it's called 9 Lives, starring Kevin Spacey, Jennifer Garner, Christopher Walken, and it's just a body swap movie. So it's just like Freaky Friday. But Kevin Spacey's character, he's really powerful, super rich guy, also a jerk, treats his family like crap, treats his son like crap, but he's always just trying to get ahead and do be the best. And he doesn't really see life for what it is or see what he has in front of him. And so he gets swapped with this cat, and then he becomes the cat. It's a fun family movie. I really enjoyed this one. High recommend. And I'm not sure how I missed it, but it was really fun. And then diving into these 2 4Ks I picked up. These ones here, we got Poseidon and Lost in Space. Now this is the newer one with Kurt Russell and Josh Lucas. Now there's the Poseidon Adventure, and then there's this Poseidon, the remake. I enjoy both of them, but this was a good 4K. Really enjoyed it. I think Arrow knocked it out of the park with this. I saw no problem with it. Beautiful picture, wonderful surround sound. I only had this on DVD, and so this was a huge upgrade for me. Glad to have it. Oh, and then if you haven't seen this one, they're on a cruise ship. The cruise ship capsizes, and then they're kind of stuck underwater, but they're in the ship, and they're trying to escape. It's one of those movies. And then this one, it was one of my more anticipated. It's not the most anticipated film of the year, but it was one of the more anticipated films that were announced, and so I finally picked it up. And it's Lost in Space. Glad to have this one. Love the 4K. Think it's a beautiful picture. And it's just, for me, I think it's a cult classic. You might not love the film, but I do. And I love the artwork here. And again, this one here, this is the original movie poster. And my memory of watching this, so I watched it when it first came out, and my dad was super excited. He wanted to show us Lost in Space because he grew up watching the TV show. And I remember like 30 minutes into it, he gave up. He got mad. He was angry. He was actually really angry because this movie was nothing like the TV show he grew up with, and he basically rage quit the movie. But I enjoyed it, and so then it was just something that I've always enjoyed. And then when I was a little bit older, I worked at Bradley's, which is kind of like a Target, but they're out of business now. And in the TV department, they had this movie playing like non-stop, and it was in this like locked DVD player. It was like basically when DVDs first came out, and so it was like the lower end budget DVD player like RCA or something, but it was still extremely expensive, and they had it in this locked cabinet, and the lady that was in charge of the electronics department refused to put anything else in. And so this movie played for like a year and a half, and then we closed the store. And I remember one of my friends that I worked with was trying to get the DVD, but then they couldn't find the case, and he was just so mad that they couldn't find the case. It was just a comical thing that I remembered. But I love this movie, and like I said, it was playing non-stop for a year and a half, and so I saw bits and pieces of it all the time walking past the electronics section. But yeah, over the years, I've watched this probably dozens of times, and just, I love it. Absolutely love it. And the 4K is just wonderful. And the next one here is Fled. Now, this one is another Olive Films release. I had it on VHS. I didn't really think I saw it, even though I had it on VHS, because every time I thought of the film, I would always think of Bulletproof, and then I would just watch that instead. But you have two convicts on the run. It's comical. There's a twist in there. Really enjoy it. But yeah, you have Lawrence Fishburne, Stephen Baldwin. Again, I don't think you can go wrong. I would not even call this a Saturday afternoon film, even though I would watch it on a Saturday afternoon if I had nothing better to do. But I could watch it anytime. I enjoyed it. And on the rewatch of this, realizing I had seen it before, it just had been a really long time. It is that thing of just out of sight, out of mind. I had it on VHS up here, but the Bulletproof is downstairs. It's just much easier to access. And so it's just that was the one I was going to all the time. But yeah, Olive Films, can't go wrong there because I am trying to collect all of them. But then it was just an overall fun movie. And this one here, this is the one that came damaged originally, and so then I had to wait for the new one to come. I returned the other one, but it was just a big thing. I had to re-buy this. They wouldn't let me just exchange it. And this is a movie with Sid Caesar, Vera Mills. The Spirit is Willing. So William Castle directed this one, or did he direct it or did he write it? Either way, William Castle's The Spirit is Willing. Really enjoy this one. It's a 60s family comedy. You have ghosts that are haunting the house. This family moves in. I love it. I love it. Anything to do with these like 1960s family comedies, I've been super into those, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just my lack of love for a lot of the modern cinema, but going back to these older films, they're just enjoyable. There's something about watching a movie and not hearing the F word a million times, and not that I'm afraid of it. I mean, I say it all the time in my own real life, but to hear it in the movies and stuff, and then to go back and watch these movies and there's no cursing. It's just overall just a nice, clean, fun family film. And if I didn't know any better, I would think it was one of the, especially with Vera Mills being in it, I think it was one of those old Disney films. It kind of has that vibe of, just family wholesomeness. But again, really enjoy this one. Another high recommend. And this is the very last thing that I had picked up in September, and this was the re-release of the Superman 4K Steelbook set. Really enjoyed getting this. Love the artwork on here, and the fact, and I've said before, I'm not really picking up Steelbooks anymore unless it comes in one of these like nice, collector box sets where it's more protected. But even with that, things happen. And so this one here, brand new, inside here, and some kind of thing at the factory, there's a little tiny pinhole dent. It's very minor. It wasn't worth trying to send it back and get another one, but it is the reason I don't collect the Steelbooks anymore. They are very fragile. When you got kids and a family and you're not the only one just accessing the collection, these things get damaged very easily, even if you're careful. This one, brand new, like I said, had that pinhole dent. As soon as it was the very first movie I tried to pop in, and it was inside here in the foam, and so it happened at the factory. It happened during manufacturing at some point, and it's why I don't collect the Steelbooks anymore, even though the artwork is fantastic. And then you have Superman 2. You have two different sides. You have the Richard Donner cut, and then if you flip it over this way, then you have the original movie poster cut there. Love the artwork on here. Just a beautiful set. And then Superman 3. This is probably one of my favorites. I love this one. I know this one doesn't get a lot of love. It does get more love than 4, but I love all of these. I love these original ones. And this one probably is one of my favorites. I like, probably goes 1, 3, 2, and then 4 is probably how I really like these ones. And then 4. This is the one that, all growing up, people hated this one. I heard that nobody liked it, but I've always loved this film. I watched it when I was a little boy, and it hasn't really changed for me. I can understand that all this stuff in here, the nuclear arms and, worried about that, all that stuff has kind of gone away. It was a huge, scare in the late 80s, early 90s, and it was all, I remember learning about it at school and all that stuff, but it doesn't really get talked about now, and so this probably doesn't age all that well, but I still like it. Also got some friend mail, and so as we wrap this up, I wanted to show this off. This is some friend mail, and so I always have the Amazon wish list, and I'm always trying to whittle that down myself, but every now and again somebody sends me something off the wish list, and I do appreciate that. There's many ways to support the channel, and that is one of them. There's also always the merch link down below, but anyway, diving into this, as I was looking into it, it says, enjoy your free gift. First video today, why are all these movies stuck on DVD? That was the title of the movie. Over 20 I would call classics, and this was the cheapest from your list. Thor H. Thank you. Thank you, Thor. And, ooh, nice. So this is a movie that I had before, but the one I had after the first watch, it was damaged. There was like some kind of manufacturer defect on it. So on the second watch, like in the middle of it, it like skipped hard. Like a good bit of it was just not playable. And so the Hateful Eight, much appreciated, brother. Yeah, again, you never have to send me anything, but it's always appreciated. Looking forward to this, and I'm probably going to watch it today. That was everything that I picked up this month for the month of September. And like I said, because of the move, I haven't planned on picking up anything else. I was supposed to be getting the Nightmare on Elm Street box set like this, but it said order received. Tried to get a hold of them, figure out what's going on with it. I don't know if they have any more, or if I'm getting it at all. But I was supposed to get that Nightmare on Elm Street set, and that would have been the last thing, but I still haven't got anything. Let me know what you think of any of these, if you've seen them, if you're going to pick up anything, or what you picked up in September. Always interested in that because, you know, it's something I might find interesting enough that I might want to pick it up as well. You're going to want to check out this video right here for more movie recommendations. And with that, remember to watch a movie today, and I'll catch you guys next time.